was Chris. He can't get in.
Unmuted. He's there as an attendee, I can see.
Yeah, I think he needs to be put up to panelist. I realised this is being recorded.
Here he is.
You all right? I panicked then. Hello all, and welcome to the Brit School. Well, not welcome to the Brit School, welcome to my house. Tonight we are going to do we're going to introduce the Visual Art and Design department, and hopefully you will have all your questions that you need answering, as well as you'll get to meet two other members of staff, my co-director, Alice Everest, and Claire Gildersleeve, who's in charge of Key Stage 4. I hope you enjoy this evening. At the end of the presentation, you'll get an opportunity to have a Q&A session where you can ask any questions, but please feel free also to ask any questions in the chat bar, which you'll find located down below. Okay, I'll pass you over now to Alice Everest.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time to come along and find out more about our course. This evening, we're going to be going through some videos so you guys can see those, and we're also going to be trying to answer in the Q&A and also the chat, so bear with us. We're trying to kind of get through all of those as well. So thanks for being here, and I'm going to hand over to Claire Gildersleeve, who's in charge of Key Stage 4. Over to you, Claire.
Hi, thank you for joining us. As Chris said, I am responsible for the Key Stage 4 course, so I'll be able to answer any questions you might have about that. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by sharing with you, you may have seen them already on our YouTube channel, but we're going to start off by sharing our videos, which are the introductions to our courses. So I believe straight after I say this sentence, we will have a video about the Key Stage 4 course. Maybe.
Hi, my name is Claire Gildersleeve and I'm the Assistant Director of Visual Arts and Design here at the Brit School. I'm here to talk to you about our Key Stage 4 Visual Arts and Design Strand course, and we're really excited that you've come to watch this talk and that you're interested in our course. So the course you'll be studying, if you join us on our Visual Arts and Design Key Stage 4 course, is a Level 2 BTEC Tech Award in Art and Design Practice. That is a course which is filled with lots of different specialities, disciplines. We really explore a whole range of things, and it's a great stepping stone up to our Post-16 Visual Arts and Design course as well. So we cover areas such as fine art, so drawing, painting, mark making, printmaking, fashion and textiles, photography, graphic design, film, everything we can cover really in the 2 years. The BTEC Tech Award is comprised of two components. So there's a component which is all about generating and refining ideas and developing ideas in art and design, and another one which is based on building skills. So we run all of those things throughout the course, and then the final component is an externally set assignment, which we sometimes refer to as an exam, but it's not just a one-day come in and sit down and that's your one chance thing. It's actually an entire project which is about responding to a client brief. So we've built all of those skills up to get to that point through our previous projects before we get to that externally set assignment. So you'll have lots of different projects, multiple themes, developing your experience across art and design in all of the disciplines that we can expose you to. There'll be a wide range of specialisms, media and processes for you to explore. There'll be contextual references in art and design throughout, which will really help you to develop the way that you can talk about art and design and engage with it, and in turn that informs your own practice. We do visits to museums, galleries and other places of interest that also help to develop those contextual awarenesses. We give you assistance with building an art and design portfolio, and we have lots of live projects, so at least 4 exhibitions across your course, with lots of other opportunities as well. We create work that can be sold, which is nice, gives you a bit of extra pocket money. Community projects, we've done national competitions, and having that 5 hours a week in Strand just gives you the opportunity to try lots of other things aside from the criteria and meeting all of that and passing the qualification. On this slideshow, I'd like to share with you some thoughts from our current and departing Key Stage 4 students from the last year. So you should be seeing some examples of what they've said about the course now. So for our exam results this year in 2020, that was our first cohort which went through the new BTEC Tech Award, and the results were excellent. So we had 100% of students achieved D-Star, Distinction Star to pass, which is the equivalent of a 9 to a 4 on GCSE. 88.5% of students received a Distinction Star to Merit, and 53.8% of students received a Distinction Star, which is the top grade, which is equivalent to a 9 in GCSE. The facilities that Key Stage 4 students use are the same as the post-16 students. Obviously, we have slightly less time, but there's an opportunity for you to cover everything in the time that we have. So you will use the darkroom for darkroom processing and photograph developing. You will use the Mac suite, you'll use the textiles equipment, you'll use the print studio, and all of those things that we have available will be also available to you. Just to elaborate on some of those opportunities that I discussed earlier, we have 2 or 3 exhibitions a year that students are involved with. Some of those are at school. So we have a whole department exhibition in our OB show. We also have an exhibition which is purely for Key Stage 4 students, which for the past 10 years has happened at Dulwich Picture Gallery, which has been fantastic. This year we've moved it into Somerset House, so we've built a new partnership, and our students will be presenting their work, which is a wearable art project at the moment, at Somerset House. So we do lots of sharing of skills, lots of collaboration with other people, but also within the class itself as well. We've been involved in projects such as Little People's Day every year, so students have been working with young people that come in. We've brought parents in as well for Year 10 settling in evening. And new for 2020, we are working on a Key Stage 4 student enterprise initiative. So we're doing projects where students will be making work that will be being sold. We have a new 3D printer that we're going to be using for that, laser cutting, screen printing, all of those skills that we've taught students before, and some new ones thrown in so they can think about how they can make work that will be sold. We'll talk to them about the sort of business side of that, how they market their work, how they sell it, and we will actually be running sort of effectively a small business enterprise with our Key Stage 4 students. Lots of you will be interested to know what we look for in a student. What we are looking for is students who are sort of dedicated, passionate, have a really strong interest in the subject. We don't expect you to know everything, that's why you're coming here. We need you to show commitment, aptitude for the subject, of course, but there is room to develop, so potential is massively important, and ambition as well. So we want students that are willing to come and feel that they don't know everything, but they are happy to try things. We want students who are happy to come in and take risks and to try things and know that they may not work, but we'll find a way together to make things work. And of course, as you're applying for Key Stage 4, we also need to see that you are going to be committed to the entire curriculum as well. And the application process, there is a form online. You need to please make sure you only apply for one course. You must fill in your own form yourself, and you need to include a copy of your Year 8 report. The application deadline is the 11th of January 2021. Workshops will be held in March, and you would normally hear within 4 weeks about the outcome of that. And also do have a look at our department social media as well. So at VAD Brit School, that is on Instagram and Twitter as well. But Instagram, you get a really nice sort of selection of visuals of our students' work. Thank you for listening to this talk, and we look forward to meeting you when you apply.
Welcome to Visual Arts and Design. I'm Alice Everest.
And I'm Chris Waite, and we are co-directors of Visual Art and Design. So if you decide to come to Visual Art and Design, you'll be studying a level 3 with UAL, that's University of Arts London, and our qualification is Creative Practice in Art Design and Communication. Within that qualification, you'll be doing 3 units in each year. So in the first year, what we try to do is try to make it quite broad. So you'll be learning a variety of disciplines. They will generally be across graphics, textiles, print, and general creative practice. So the UAL Level 3 Extended Diploma is a 2-year course. It comprises of 6 units. And within each year, 1 and 2, you have to sit a final major project. All the grades do count, but the major grade is taken from your final major project. So year 1 essentially is where you can play and experiment across disciplines. And in year 2 is where we expect students to really focus on what they enjoy and what they feel they want to focus on, perhaps at university. In year 2, also, students will create independent projects. So the whole aim of this 2-year course is to make you an independent practitioner. And again, within the year 2, we generally teach through tutorial. So we will set a brief. The brief will be vocational, so it's externally focused. We work with lots of different partners for that. So you should have a real life experience. And then you'll work towards creating your own research and your own experimentation together with an outcome which you'll present for assessment. We believe good learning is experiential learning, so we encourage all our students to go out and visit places, for example, like galleries, museums, places of historical relevance, just as a starting point to get those influences and to make sure they've got something to base their learning on. We are really successful in managing to create good partnerships with external businesses and institutions, and therefore we can then offer our students quite a wide variety of places to visit. We try and encourage all our students to go on an overseas trip, and we've been to a variety of places from Barcelona, Berlin, Paris, and ensure that all the students get to experience the cultural history, all the museums, the galleries, as well as the food, the lifestyle, etc.
So the important thing that we need to let you guys know is about the facilities that we have that you obviously can't physically come in and look at and enjoy. We've got a full Mac room that we work with the full Adobe suite. We have a PC room that we work with. We've got our fully functioning dark room with the enlargers where we do a lot of wet room work as well as digital photography work as well. We've got a print studio with a screen wash and an exposure bed and also a print bed. So we have full screen printing facilities as well as an etching press. We have a fully set up photography studio as well, a textile studio, 3D studio, so a huge amount of facilities that you guys can come in and actually use as well. So the opportunities and the partners that we have and have worked with in the past are the Royal Academy. We've worked with the Tomorrow Hub in Croydon, Dulwich Picture Gallery. We obviously have the UAL awarding body as well. All partnerships that we've been exhibiting with, using their spaces, sharing facilities, also where we'll have guidance and lecturers coming in and supporting us as well. So it's we have really great partnerships that really work with us, that we can do outward facing work as well as inward facing. We've used exhibition space as well at Chelsea School of Art, where we have had for 2 years in a row really fantastic exhibitions with lots of people present, as well as Dulwich Picture Gallery, Royal Academy of the Arts with their Mayfair Arts Weekend that we've been involved in as well. So huge amounts of external opportunities as well that are really present within our Visual Arts and Design department. So many of our students go on to their first choice of university or further education or higher education course. Also, we have a small percentage of students that will go on to a vocational subject, or they'll also want to go into the world of work. And we really feel that they've been massively prepared for this within their portfolios, with the experience they've had. Again, with our briefs, we make sure that they are always vocational, they're always really open, so that our students get that real working experience. Also with this course as well, they do have in year 2 a section where they do have some work-based learning, whether that's in communication with employers, employees, and that they're part of their assessment. They have this kind of experience where they're working with the workplace as well. Also, more importantly, the feedback that we've had from universities through our students about their portfolios. Many institutions talk about their variety, the fact that they're not just about outcome, it's about the process. So they understand that although they're maybe going into fashion, they've got beautiful photography work going through their portfolios, as well as some sculptural pieces. So that's a really important piece of feedback that we've had as a course as well.
Our university partners are predominantly UAL, so it's University of Arts London, so it's Central St Martin's, Camberwell, Chelsea, LCC, but we also have really great relationships with Falmouth, Glasgow, and Brighton. Predominantly, we like to get universities to come into us, so they can get a feel of how our students. But we believe here that it gets you a foot in the door. And looking at our 94% success rate, it proves that we are doing something right.
So our students, we've got a piece here about our alumni. We kind of talk about our students about the fact that they may be quiet, but they make impact within the visual arts and creative worlds, whether they become incredible photographers, a student who now is making leather pouches, kind of portable bags that he's now got in Selfridges, to a student that has recently just left CSM, where she was doing fashion, but actually she was starting to create incredible furniture pieces out of wood, and did these beautiful kind of shadow films that she produced for her graduate show that actually had to go online. So they're really, really exciting people that are really good at being versatile. They can think on their feet. They're really excited and exciting. They've got a lot of energy about them, but they're willing to take on lots of different things. And I think that's the really exciting thing about our course and what happens to our students. We introduce them to huge amounts of different areas through printmaking, photography, textiles, fashion. We go through the digital arts with them, parts of performance art as well. And with that, they become these really interesting learners that, even though they go on to degree courses, it doesn't mean that they have to stick to their one area of expertise. They really push the boundaries of their expertise into different areas and become successful in so many different things. So when it comes to who we want on our courses, we don't want that finished product. We don't want the kind of person that's already a complete expert in something. We're looking for people that we can really encourage and develop, and they can process. So we have a whole variety of students that usually join us, from loads of different disciplines, from loads of different areas. And that's what makes the course really interesting as well, and exciting, because you bring a whole pool of different people together and just start seeing what they create. And with our staff, they are really versatile, and they reflect on that, and they look at that type of student and the different group of students that they've got, and that's how we start to develop the course for that group of students that year. So each year it almost becomes bespoke to our students, which is probably really, well, it's massively unusual for a school to do. So that's something we're hugely proud of within our department and within our school.
So what applicant are we looking for? Well, we don't want, as Alice said, we don't want the finished product. We want students that are prepared to experiment, prepared to play, prepared to really try and visualise that end goal for them. We automatically presume that you want to work within the arts, so therefore we are very much pushing you to experience what the industry is like. So when you apply to us, You'll be applying for one course only, so visual art and design, hopefully. And we ask you to fill in your own form and be really clear with those questions. Make sure that you don't write small amounts. Make sure you write a real clear, precise answer to the questions that we give you. Once we've received your application form, we will look through it. We'll select the students to come for interview, and on that interview day, we will ask you to do a workshop as well as present and prepare a portfolio for us. We would generally ask our students to present that portfolio online first, so we can see that with your application form, and then what we will ask you to bring some more work with you on the day.
So during the interview process, we will go through your portfolio with you, but we'll be asking you about your current experience within visual arts and design, whether that's through technical courses. You might be doing some graphic course, or you might be doing textiles in your current school, or you might be doing the art and design GCSE. So you don't have to just be doing art and design GCSE. You can do any of the other kind of more creative subjects as well. And also we'll just be asking you questions maybe about exhibitions and artists, and also your thoughts on the interview and whole workshop process. But students in the past that have really impressed us are students that are curious. They're clearly interested in our course and they understand about our course because you've read the information online, you've found out about it, you've got some intelligent questions for us. And it's that kind of energy that you're giving us, that you are wanting to continue to learn, and you're interested to learn a lot more about the arts and the creative arts and where that can take you career-wise into further or higher education.
So it's such a shame that you can't join us tonight in physical presence. However, what we'd like you to see is a variety of the work that we produce here in the VAD department. So you can join us on Twitter and Instagram. So our Twitter account is VAD Brit School, so VAD Brit School, or on Instagram, which is VAD Brit School.
The deadline is the 31st of January 2021 for your applications. We cannot wait to receive your applications, have a good look through them, and get ready to see all of the fantastic work that you've been doing as well. It's a really, really exciting part of our year when we start to look at who we could be teaching for the next 2 years, and bring into our family and our environment, and get to know you. So please make sure that you get applying as soon as possible and get it in there before the 31st of January. Okay guys, hi. We've been having kind of lots of questions that have been coming in, and actually we're going to just kind of think about focusing on some of the key ones that maybe were repeated or asked a few times. So one of the things was about the portfolios. So yes, we will be requesting portfolios. When you're invited along for interview, we'll be setting up that process. They will be obviously digital. So what we'll be doing is getting you to upload your portfolios digitally, and making sure that you clearly understand and know that process. So please try not to worry about that. Then also, what should be in your portfolio? So we're aware that at the moment you may not be able to gather up your work or your GCSE work. It might be at school, and also if you're applying for Key Stage 4, any of your current artwork or pieces as well. So try not to worry too much about that, but we want to just see a range of work that you've been doing whilst you've been at school, and we're looking for in a portfolio a variety of schoolwork as well as external work, thinking about being able to show us maybe a range, and just kind of showing off your best work to us, but kind of keeping it open to lots of different things. We love seeing sketchbooks as well as final pieces. We really love to see the process work as well. We've also got here, how have you been managing COVID? So obviously our students are off at the moment and they are having live lessons, our post-16s and pre-16s consistently. So with with regard to their timetable, they're having their live lessons at the same time as they would have done at school. We work with Google Classrooms as well as the Google platforms. So we set up resources and we set students' independent work as well as have the live lessons at the same time.
I just add, Alice, I think one of the biggest important things for us is that that we maintain a curriculum that is studio based, so that it's not school centered, that we have also sort of like virtual lectures held by our students, held by external practitioners. So most of the input will be from the tutors, but there is a percentage that is externally facing from other practitioners within industry.
Great. So we've got, sorry, we're just going down, currently doing my GCSE. We do accept personal portfolios as well, especially if you've been working outside on other areas, you know.
Is that me? Is Alice
frozen? Is that Alice?
Alice,
yeah, I didn't know if that was me. I was typing.
Cool. So as far as students are asking, if I currently are doing, if I'm not doing a creative GCSE, will I be able to be accepted personal portfolio? Yes. If you have got a focus for art and design, or you're keen to do art and design, students do have sort of two entry points. A lot of schools currently are only giving students the option to do academic or academic and technology subjects. So for some students, that's problematic when they're wanting to apply for art and design. So what we try to offer students, predominantly at Key Stage 5, is a pathway within technology. So there's a textiles, fashion and styling course that students could focus on if that's what they're really keen on. But we do encourage students that haven't had that creative opportunity to create a portfolio and apply if they can. Sorry, so we're just reading down the questions. So there's also one about how many students attend. So Claire, you may want to talk about the Key Stage 4. I'll talk about the Key Stage 5. So all Key Stage 5 courses are funded obviously by the government, and their full-time course is 16 hours in the week. Obviously that doesn't really seem that much, but what we try and do is we spread that 16 hours across the week. So students maybe will come in for an afternoon or come in for a morning, and then they will have probably 2 sessions where they come in on a full day, on 2 full days. So we try and give students the full experience of being on a 9-to-5 course, even though they're only doing 16 hours. Claire, do you want to just talk about the hours?
Yeah, so sorry, is this about the question about the hours or about how many students?
The hours for the general timetable for Key Stage 4.
Yeah, so for Key Stage 4, currently they have 5 hours of Strand every week. So they have that every week at the moment, and for the last couple of years from memory, in fact a little while, probably longer than it feels, they have an hour and a half on a Monday morning in year 10, this is in year 10, and an hour and a half on a Thursday afternoon and 2 hours on a Friday. So they do have that on most of the days of the week. In year 11 they have longer sessions, which is quite helpful. So they have 3 hours on a Monday morning and 2 hours on a Thursday morning. So 5 hours a week, and then obviously all their other options and curriculum subjects as well as that. And just to answer the question about how many students we take at Key Stage 4, we take 25 students, although we have a couple of times nudged that up a little bit. Yes, we have, it varies from year to year in terms of sort of how many students apply, because I know that was a question somewhere. Last year we had almost 60 for those 25 places.
We've also got here people asking about what they need to get in order to get onto the course, and we actually don't ask for 5 A to C's or 9 to 5s or whatever. We actually go by your references, and obviously we do look at your previous reports, and it's based on your interview and your portfolio. We obviously really encourage you to really try to do well and get your English or maths GCSE, because, or well, both of them, because obviously you then have to do retakes in year 12, which can obviously be quite tricky when you're also trying to do your strand course as well. So just being aware of that.
Just to reiterate, I think we are having a few questions about the portfolios and what we're looking for in a portfolio. Generally, in relation to COVID, most students' portfolios would be very varied in different from school to school. So we encourage you to do as much of your own work as well as school work. If you can put some examples of project work, then that's great. I know some schools are loath to let go of coursework. So we encourage you now at this current stage to document, photograph as much as your work as you can, ready for the digital portfolio. Also, one of the key things that we're looking for is that how do you create work in context to something? So what are your influences? Have you been watching films? What music do you like? So we like you to sort of like partner your creative practice with the influences as well. So we will be asking about that, and as you can see on one of the questions for your applications, that's what we want you to answer.
People are also asking about the deadline. So if any students, our deadline for Key Stage 5 is obviously on the 31st of January, Key Stage 4, 11th of January. We haven't even started interviewing students yet. So other strands have, but we haven't. So if you're hearing that Brit have started accepting other students, it's from a different strand. This is purely for visual arts and design strand. And you'd be around submitting your digital portfolio around March time is when we're actually running our interviews, which will be online this year. Also, I know people are asking about day-to-day, so how long you'd be at school. So for post-16, it's 16 hours face-to-face learning, and sometimes the day will start at 9 AM, other times it might start at 10 or 11. It depends on the timetabling and the staffing, and the school day officially ends at 4:15, but sometimes that may go on later. And yes, if you haven't got a lesson, students do also stay around and use our studio spaces. Obviously not something that they're able to do at the moment. Even during September they weren't allowed to do that, just due to trying to keep year groups separate, but hopefully by next September that will be up and running again, fingers crossed. There's also about extracurricular activities. So we do have a whole peripatetic for music and also dance. We don't actually have any sporting teams at the moment, but we do have a gym. But obviously any keen students that want to set up their own running clubs or things like that, the school is really open to this, and getting some cross-curricular activities going on as well with different strands. It's all really open and really encouraged. Trying to go through. So with post-16 as well, we do have a pathway offer, which may be AS levels or other different levels. The offer goes out once you're accepted. So once you're accepted onto a post-16 course, you then will receive the offer to find out what is out there for you when you join, and that will be your curriculum offer when you accept your place. Claire, also, obviously with regards to the options, that's the same as well, isn't it? Once they've received their their place, they get an options booklet as well.
Yeah, yeah.
For your extra GCSEs, the extra options that you would be choosing, like in your current school.
Can I just answer a question that I've just seen coming in? Just to save sort of typing, it would be a bit easier. So somebody has a year 8 child who's interested in applying to the Brit School. What can we advise? Firstly, that's great that they're already thinking about that in year 8. Obviously, they can't apply to us until they're ready to apply for year 10, but I would wholeheartedly recommend that they do that. And I think just, you know, what we like to see when we see students, particularly for year 10, is, you know, we realise they're in year 9. Lots of schools have very different experiences with art and design. Lots of students have access to things that perhaps other students won't. So I would really just advise your child as well, just to really sort of try and, you know, keep that sort of passion with it going, find the things that interest them, and they can start to, as well as their school stuff, start to build up a bit of a personal portfolio, or a sort of selection of things. And within, you know, they've got 2 more years before that, or well, I guess another year before they can start thinking about applying. They can gather quite a bit of stuff together. So hopefully that answers that. Do let me know if there's anything else in particular you want. There is also Brit Kids as well that the school does for younger students, so it would be really worth having a look on our website and seeing if you find any information about Brit Kids as well. It's the Saturday school.
Someone's put here about the fact that their school currently is encouraging them to focus on their academic subjects and taking time away from their creative ones, and that's a real shame, because obviously we know that this can, throughout this time during lockdown and where students are isolated, it's so important that they have their creative flair enhanced, and they get to still get to work on different art projects and things. So someone said that it's causing their sketchbook to be really plain at the moment, but just try to it's a really interesting time as artists, so we kind of are constantly saying to our students where maybe they're lacking motivation, or it's really hard, isn't it, where you're not in school seeing your friends and stuff. We try to say, actually, the whole time you should be seeking out to be doing art or creating your own artwork and things. So even if it means that you're doing that after school, or you're doing it during the weekends, try not to see it as a project, I suppose. It's more about your kind of release and your kind of experimentation, rather than it being about project work or school work. See it as a different thing, that it's something that you actually really enjoy. Sorry, someone keeps on asking about, and sorry, we haven't answered this, about the interior and product design. So we do graphics, we also do design, we do 3D design. It's a whole mixture, so we do approach that. Interior design can be part of our styling, and where we look at textiles and printmaking, but it's not necessarily taught as a specific area. But students can, within their final major projects, they can actually look into those areas of study and present that work in that certain way. And also students have gone on to do interior design and product design from our post-16 courses, but they're quite niche and specific areas to be focusing in on for kind of post-16. But we do touch on that, and with the variety of the course and the areas that we do look into, you get to actually you gain all of the areas that you need in order to push product and interior design. You know, you're looking at color balance, you're looking at texture, you're looking at shape and form, different materials and things. So it really supports that. So Georgia, I hope that answers your question.
I think that we'll just take a last few questions. There was one about how many applicants, and that's come up several times. Key stage, I think Claire's answered. Key stage 4, we have 25 places with about 60 applicants. In key stage 5, it does fluctuate in key stage 5 from year to year. We on a sort of approximate, we have 150 applicants with 75 places. We have a bulge year, and we have one where we have 3 cohorts, that's 75 students, and it goes down to 50 students from year on year out. we are looking now to move that on to 75 within each year group with the introduction of the fashion, styling and textiles. So there is still pretty competitive as far as applications are concerned, and I think for students that are applying, probably this is the first experience they've had of applying for a course, and we appreciate that it sometimes is quite a daunting thing when applying. So please, just we encourage you all the students to complete the application themselves. Can we make sure that the one thing they do check for is that they respect their punctuality and grammar, and they don't write in text language. That'd be much appreciated. So if parents can look over it when they do apply, but it's really important that you get your applications in and that they are pretty personal to you. And likewise with the portfolio when submitted, we make sure that we are trying to pluck out the personal side of the portfolio, because quite often schools, they do take a generic approach to Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. So we appreciate that, and we've got enough experience where we can see where students are sort of applying themselves and their own creative ideas.
Just we're kind of going to start wrapping it up, but also please don't forget to go to the website. Also call or email student services about the application forms if you're confused, and if they can't answer, they'll forward it on to us and we will answer those questions and queries for you, about kind of the reference reports, about kind of any previous grades or anything that we need to know. Any of those kind of queries, please do email or call the school as well. I think, are we done? And also just about kind of, if you've already selected your options for your current school, obviously for year 10, you can change those options when you apply for us. When you receive your option booklet, we wouldn't know what you would have selected in your previous school ready for your GCSEs. And so you would just select what you wanted that was on offer for us, which is great. Thank you guys so much. I think we are ending it here. Is that right, Chris, Claire?
Yeah, I think so. So we all thank you for attending. We hope we've answered the majority of your questions. We do encourage you to make your applications, whether that's for Key Stage 4 and Key Stage 5. And although it does feel like a daunting task moving from your current school, and obviously we appreciate that in light of COVID, that is quite a difficult decision to make. The one good thing that we can leave you with is that our school does focus on the individual, and that is really important for us. So many students really feel unleashed, and they are free when they come here. It's an exciting opportunity, and you know, we can just encourage you to make that application and make that leap if you can. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And good evening.